a in-person meeting here soon. So Lisa Lechuga, our chair, usually is our host. She is out today along with Priya, our secretary. They are busy transitioning the library for they're closing until I think October or November. I don't remember. I know they might be listening to me today, so they might jump in. But and then we have our executive team has support from Bridget Glasspool of Kitsap Mental Health and Leif Wegner from Kitsap Mental Health and Carla Foster and Virginia McCaslin. So Carla is from KCR, of course, and Virginia is from Kitsap County. So we're always welcoming more members. Our executive team, we also meet the first Wednesday of the month. Let me admit some people on here. So it's we're always welcome to share ideas and really kind of put together a structure for this meeting. So we come together as a network of service providers and really share all of our opportunities. So the first thing we start with at every meeting is our minutes from last meeting. So we're gonna need a motion and a second. So let me pull up the minutes. Every time I think I have to stop sharing. Okay, so let me see if this works out for me. Can everybody see the notes?
I can.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we send the notes on our newsletter when we announce the next month's meeting. So I'm just going to scroll through these slowly, but if anybody wants to have a motion and a second to get them approved, that is kind of our role as members of the coalition, and everyone here is a member.
Hey, Katie, I can only see the agenda for today. I don't know about other people, but.
Okay, so you don't see the notes. Let me
No.
stop sharing. Thank you, Bridget. Let's see here. Here we go. Notes?
Much better.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to use application share. Usually just use a screen share, but I appreciate you letting me know. So here are the notes. I believe Priya is going to watch this recording. This is recorded by the Conduit and Marlon Cameron every month and put on his YouTube channel. So I think Priya is just going to watch the recording and take notes for this month's meeting. So do I have a motion and a second?
This is Bridget. Katie, I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Bridget.
This is Roland Harper. I'll second.
Thank you, Roland. And I'm just going to finish scrolling, and we put all of our membership organizations on the bottom. We're still figuring out a good way to kind of track our membership and keep it updated. So hopefully within a few months, we'll have a process for that. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about our community builder. If I can follow along here. So as you know, today, I'll share it one more time if anybody wants to see it again. Today, our community builder was sharing a guilty pleasure. And it looks like we have a lot of activity in the chat. So I will stop sharing so we can see each other. And please, if you have video, if you feel comfortable sharing your video, we're always welcome to see each other while we talk about kind of something about us to connect. So I'm just going to go down the chat list. So if you want to put your agency and your name and your guilty pleasure, if you just joined us, feel free to. I'm just going to go down the chat and just read them off. And I might ask you follow-up questions, like how to pronounce your name. So first I have Jim Strunk. He looks like he's from the public and attending. Well, thank you, Jim, for coming. Then Chuck, I always wonder how to pronounce your last name, but you're from the Kitsap County Central Labor Council. Do you have a guilty pleasure that you want to share?
Yes, I do. It is helping out in my community and taking naps. And my last name is pronounced Spack.
Spack. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Chuck.
You're welcome.
And Madison, our presenter today from Kitsap Homes of Compassion, she says her guilty pleasure is couch naps. Who can't relate to that? That sounds so nice right now. and Kathleen from Housing Solutions Center, she's the interim manager there. Her guilty pleasure is going to the casino. That also sounds fun. Emily Larson from the Kitsap Rescue Mission, watching dog videos on TikTok. Wow, I can relate to all these. I didn't know they were guilty pleasures until now. Julie Davis, supervisor at St. Michael's. Sean from Helpline House, his guilty pleasure is buying house plants. And Gina from DSHS of Bremerton, CSO, and guilty pleasure is binge watching series TV. Any favorite series?
Well, right now I'm watching 1883 and it's pretty good.
I've heard it was good. That was related to Yellowstone, correct?
Yeah.
Molly Brooks from Kitsap Erased, guilty pleasure is buying arts and crafts supplies. Oh man, I love all of these. These are so great, and I also can relate to every one of them. Jason from Aging and Long-Term Care, which is part of Kitsap County Human Services Department, buying or researching new tech. Scott, the ED at KHHC, and that's Kitsap Homes of Compassion, I assume. Cruising in their convertible Mini. Leah from Kitsap County, soaking up the sun and heat every chance they get. Brittany from the Kitsap Home of Compassion and watching dating shows. Oh, that's a great one too. And Michelle from the customer service manager at Kitsap Transit. Real Housewives on Bravo. Carisha from the Bremerton Housing Authority. Her guilty pleasure is rewatching Games of Thrones repeatedly. Let's see. Sarah from Kitsap Public Health District, Chronic Disease and Injury Prevention Program. Guilty pleasure is spending way too much money buying baked goods from Kitsap Fresh. I've not tried Kitsap Fresh yet, but I've heard really good things. And baked goods, what baker does that come from?
There are many different bakers on there. So you'll have to take a look. You order on Saturday and Sunday, and then there's now 9 different locations. I don't work for them. I just really love them. It's kind of the best of like going to a farmer's market, but you get to browse at home.
Yeah, and it's all online, right? You just order. That's really neat. Leanne from the Weaver Foundation, Georgia's House. Thank you for joining us. Lori from the Northwest Justice Project. They love ice cream. And wait, Leanne says her guilty pleasure is Snickers bars. And then Alec from CHS, ice cream addict. What's CHS?
Catholic Housing Services, but I'm at the Maxvale Center, so.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Alec. Frankie from Coordinated Care, cake, guilty pleasure, very nice. Then Nicole Oberg from the Salish Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization. And I remember from last time, there's a very short acronym, but I appreciate you spelling it out. And Hostess Mini Chocolate Donuts. Roland from Project Share, chocolate cake with chocolate frosting, chocolate cream topped with liquid chocolate. Okay, that's something that sounds great, especially in the afternoon right now on a Wednesday. Chris from DSH Bremerton, purchasing sneakers. And Morgan from the Bremerton Housing Authority. And while she doesn't agree with the term guilty pleasure, as we shouldn't feel guilt for these things, she will share that she enjoys memes. That's a great one. Guilty pleasure for Martita May. One, when I start eating fine delicacy chocolate, I can't stop. That sounds great. And Susie Beal from Summit Avenue Presbyterian Church. Guilty pleasure, Outlander. And Kathleen wanted to share that Carla is no longer with KCR, so that's a good update. And then Jim Strunk, his guilty pleasure is napping. And Teresa from Housing Kids at Marshmallows. And Martita May, she also wanted to share that she enjoys fine chocolates, and she's from the Kids Public Health Department. And Marwan, if you see in the chat, everyone, there is a link to watch the recording later, and we'll also share that on our newsletter. Thank you, Marwan. And Maria from KHHC, guilty pleasure, read a book nonstop through the night and the day. I like that one. Carl Borg from the Housing and Homelessness Program Manager for Kitsap County. His guilty pleasure is bourbon. And Marwan likes red vines. And let's see, Sherry Rains from the Home Ownership Program Coordinator with Housing Resources, Bainbridge. Guilty pleasure is baked goods. Another one, I think baked goods or sweets is a really popular one, which I can imagine that is my favorite too. And Brenda Johnson, Kitsap Community Resources, easy, relaxing video games. Oh my gosh, thank you all so much for sharing these. This is amazing. And thank you for joining us today. And Mindy from KPHD, guilty pleasure reality TV shows like Below Deck. I don't know if you all know, but I live on a boat with my family, and that's one of our guilty pleasures too, is watching Below Deck. There's some good boat knowledge there if you kind of get around the drama. Ray Hill, with the Rental Assistance Program Manager with KCR, turning off my phone and ignoring the outside world. It's always a good one that we all hope to do. Eric Harold from Salvation Army, my pleasure is Steam Room. And then Joanna from the Kitsap Homes of Compassion. And then Daniela Gordon with PCHS, guilty pleasure is coconut everything. Oh my gosh, I know we have a bunch of people joining. Looks like I've only missed a few as everybody's been coming in, but thank you so much. I think it's one of our highest attended meetings so far, so something is getting out, so I appreciate that. And we're really excited to share about Homes of Compassion today. So with that being said, does anybody else have anything to say before we jump into our presentations? Madison, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of the presentations, I'm just going to share that. Hopefully everyone can see that all right.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Madison. I'm the House Program Manager for Kitsap Homes of Compassion. And I'm really grateful to be here today to share a little bit about our organization. So the big question, right? What is Kitsap Homes of Compassion? So we do a couple things. So we're a nonprofit established in 2017. Our founder saw the problem of folks experiencing homelessness in Kitsap County and wanted to find a solution. And so traditionally we've been a housing organization where we have I'm sorry.
Funny thing.
Have master leases with homeowners and residents experiencing homelessness. So we call this a cost-effective long-term supportive housing solution. We also provide case management services to anyone that's looking for housing in Kitsap County, not just in KHHC housing. So our mission down there at the bottom is to create hope and opportunity for homeless Kitsap County residents by providing affordable permanent housing and other resources that promote self-sufficiency for thriving instead of just surviving. So this slide kind of shows the three, well, we have kind of two branches of our organization and three parts. So we have our case management branch, which is the Foundational Community Supports Program, which is funded by Medicaid, and the Housing First program, which is funded by a grant from the Washington Healthcare Authority. And then, as I said, we have our housing program. Right now, this is a little out of date. We have 27 homes across Kitsap County, and residents pay an affordable monthly fee for a private bedroom and access to common areas. So this is basically what I was just saying. And I've got like different numbers on this slideshow, so just hear what I say, not what I wrote. This is an example of one of our homes too as well. So for our housing program, there's basically 3 different types of housing. We have our program housing, which is for higher need residents who need a little bit more support. They have house meetings by house managers weekly. We have our permanent supportive housing, and all of this is permanent housing. There's no like expiration to when someone has to leave. We have folks who stay a year. We have folks who've been there since we were founded. So anyways, permanent supportive housing is for folks with sort of less symptoms who need a little support, but they still have bi-monthly house meetings to help. Those house meetings help promote self-governance in the home and kind of keep things well managed and address any issues that may arise. And then we have low-wage earner homes, which are for folks who make an income, but they just want an affordable housing option by living in shared living. Our foundational community supports program is state-run, and like I said, it's for folks who have Medicaid and have complex needs. The program is very similar to our Housing First program, but just the funding source is different. So our staff members there are housing navigators. We have different terms for everybody, and they can get a little confusing, but it's no problem if you get them mixed up, of course. So for our Housing First program, Housing First services are provided thanks to a grant from the WHCA, like I said. The philosophy of Housing First is that everyone is housing ready. So we prioritize people's basic needs above less critical necessities. So the idea is that once you house somebody, they're more likely to want to receive voluntary support services to help address things like untreated mental health needs or physical health issues, substance use disorders, things like that. The basic, like I said, everyone's ready for housing. Eligibility for this program, folks have to be experiencing homelessness or housing instability. Their income cannot exceed 50% of Kitsap County's median income, and they must have a mental health need or current or past use substances. So this is a nice little graphic that kind of explains why Housing First works. And many of you may be familiar with this, but I would just go over it in case anyone wasn't sure. So I think fail points is a little dramatic in this graphic, but basically what this graphic is saying, and I have a screen over here, so that's why I'm gesturing over here. So basically, without the Housing First philosophy, there's a lot of opportunities for people to return to homelessness because of the expectations of landlords or shelters or transitional housing that makes it difficult with the expectations for sobriety and a medicated status or something like that. There's opportunities for failure, as it says, to return to homelessness. I don't know if I like that terminology, like I said, but bear with me. Housing First program gets people into permanent housing where, like I said, folks are more likely to address any other services or resources that they may want to access. So I thought I'd go over a little bit of our intake process for folks who are curious. This is a little roadmap for what our intake process looks like. Our team members do outreach at community events, local partners, including shelters and free meal sites, and hopefully we'll be participating in street outreach in the upcoming months. Second, our team members help establish eligibility for potential program participants by using a screening intake assessment that we have. people sign a consent to treat indicating that they want case management services, so our staff can talk to them about their current situation and without violating like fair housing laws that we are run into with our housing side of our program. And right now, staff are tracking their activities through HMIS, and they complete HMIS and FCS assessments and then add their activities, like I said, into the HMIS tracker. The housing specialists help participants find housing by using the HSPPR, which I think many of you are familiar with. And then at that point, the housing specialist and the peer support counselors get together to remove barriers for participants and provide harm reduction supplies and survival gear if necessary while someone is transitioning from homelessness to either transitional housing or permanent housing. And then the housing staff have maintenance check-ins with folks once they're housed to make sure that they're staying stably housed and feeling safe. The next couple slides will explain a little bit more about housing specialists and navigators. So the housing specialists and navigators are working with folks to find safe and stable housing is their basic goal. And there's a list here for you to read about different things that housing specialists do. But basically, we take client goals for housing and find potentially more realistic options that align with their what they want in a house or a home. Our peer support counselors provide connections to other resource access in the county. Any other thing that might lead to housing stability, like jobs, if they want education, food security, things like that. I also have a slide about our outreach strategies right now. We do receive referrals from organizations. I do a little bit of advertisement on social media and other things. We have a newsletter that goes out if you're interested in subscribing to that. We have a website with an online application process, which I'll show a little bit of in the next slide. We also like to attend community events and local partnerships. We were just at Building 10 in Port Orchard this morning doing a tour with our team. So if you have any resources that you think that my team should know about or would like us to come and visit, always happy to have someone come to our office or go visit a location to see what's out there in the county. So this slide is the little thing at the top of our housing application. I just wanted to take a little screenshot so you could see what to expect. Folks can for case management, housing, or both. So that's what this looks like on the website, and the website is khhc.home/apply. I mentioned the HSPPR. I just wanted to include a picture of that as well, just in case someone hasn't seen it. It's basically the way that we find out folks' goals for safe and stable housing and then identify the strengths that can help contribute to finding that housing and address the barriers that may be getting in the way. For barriers that are getting in the way, with the Housing First program, we do have funds available to help address some of these barriers. There's a long checklist, but I just shared a little bit of it, of things that we can support folks in. So things like past due rent, license applications, bus tokens, survival gear, like I mentioned, sleeping bags, tents, solar chargers for cell phones, things like that. And this has been a really impactful, the case management program we've been expanding and our housing program that keeps developing has been really impactful for a lot of people in Kitsap County. We get a lot of our events that, housing was just really touched and shared that, they'd been down on their luck and it felt like everyone's them and that they just needed someone to take a chance on them. It's really a moment towards the beginning of our new case management programs that just really sits with me, because that's what we do is help people take chances on people who maybe haven't haven't had a chance taken on them in a long time. So I also wanted to share, we're doing a t-shirt and hoodie drive right now. If you want a cool shirt with the back design that says Homes Not Benches, I'll drop the link in the chat. The t-shirts are $25 and the hoodies are $40. If anyone's interested to help support Kids Have Homes with Compassion and our mission. So yeah, thank you so much. My email is here and my phone number. I really appreciate being able to come and present for all of you today. Yeah, there's time for questions. I think I kind of sped through that a little bit. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Madison. There's a few questions in the chat about the slides. Is that, I assume that's something you can send out, we can send out through our mailing list?
Yeah, I'll send it to you or Lisa.
Yeah.
This is the link for the t-shirts. Just instead.
And Tita has her hand up.
Thank you. Madison, I have a question. Do you have a bilingual personnel in your office to assist Spanish speaking or language?
No, but we have access to translators if that's necessary.
So what about to taking the at the time of taking the intake, you can provide access to language?
These translation services, we'll find them a translator.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I had a question, Madison. Is your are you primarily state funded, county funded?
We have a lot of different funding sources from different grants, and donations are especially helpful as well. We have like the Housing First grant is from the state. We do get county funding as well. So the answer is yes to all of it.
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting momentum, and that's a lot of programs. And I think we all know, like, I think the hard thing is just to not just to find the people, but like get them through the system and help them wherever they need it, and also give them choice. And it sounds like Homes of Compassion is really all about, letting them lead the way, and that you can provide the supports to support that. And that is a lot of work itself. So I appreciate that. Yeah, it's totally client-led. We're not making choices or passing judgments or making suggestions without hearing what the client is looking for. That's a big tenet of Housing First as well. Yeah, thank you, everyone. I'll put my email in the chat too. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to follow up with me. So thank you again.
Madison, really quick. I'm sorry, really quick before I forget. So since you receive funds from many different sources, not federal, so not having a Social Security is not an issue, right, to apply?
For the case management program, no, not anyone can have any income or no income at all to receive our case management support services. For the KHHC housing program, you will need to have income to be able to afford the monthly rent, but that averages about $675 including utilities, so it's pretty affordable.
But what about with no Social Security?
Do you mean for the housing program or for case management?
Mm-hmm.
For the housing program,
yes.
It doesn't matter what type of income someone has, like if it's SSI or SSDI or from employment, but someone will need to have some sort of income to be a housing program, but not the case management program.
Okay, let me be more specific. Okay, for undocumented people, they don't have any Social Security number. Do you guys still support?
For the case management program, definitely. For the housing program, we do need to run a background check to look for certain criteria. So they would need a Social Security number to be in the housing program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So the background checks that we run over here at Housing Solutions Center only require the date of birth and the name of the person. They don't ask for a social. Is that different because it might be a housing program rather than a shelter?
That's a great question, and that I don't have the answer to. If you want, I'll put my email in the chat. If you want to send me an email, I can follow up and get that answer for you. I'm sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head.
I can pop in a little bit on that because we run backgrounds here at Benedict House. Washington state background checks do not require social security numbers. However, federal background checks do. So that might be the difference.
That's probably correct.
I think I've asked you this before, Madison, and I don't remember that. Do they have to have medic?
For the FCS, the Foundational Community Sports, yes, but management or the KHHC housing program, no. But we have resources to help people sign up for Medicaid if that's something that they want.
So if they like make too much money, like if they get SSDI or something like that, they make too much money for Medicaid, they wouldn't be eligible.
They would be eligible for housing or case management, but not for the Foundational Community Support Program type of case management. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Madison.
Yeah, and our website has more great information if you want to check that out, or like I said, reach out to me on the website's khhc.homes. So yeah, thank you so much for having me today.
Okay, I'm just going to move down our agenda right now, and we're going to do the Kitsap County updates. We always have a standing agenda item on our meetings for Kitsap County to provide updates. I don't know who is here other than I see Carl Borg is here, and I know everybody is looking forward to an introduction to Carl. So if you want to start, that would be great.
Hi, I think I know most of you, or see most of you, as the CEO for United Way for 7 years and worked at United Way for 15 years, and took over this position when I was talking with Daryl Doggs about the fact they hadn't found anybody yet, and then he mentioned to Doug that I might be interested, and so here I am. And it's been a very big learning experience, so I don't have a whole lot to offer since I just started, but I think Corey's on, and of course my dog's gonna bark right as we talk. Look forward to working with everybody and getting to know everybody better on the call.
Anybody have any questions for Carl, or did anybody else from the county have updates maybe about the grant funding cycle? I know they're in the middle of that. And anything else, please share.
I'll just jump in and mention that we are in the middle of our coordinated grant application process. Applications close on July 17th at noon. So if your organization is in the middle of your application process, please make sure to go through and complete your application before that deadline.
July 27th.
Did I say something different?
Yeah, you said 17th and everybody
17th.
panicked.
Oh,
You
no.
should have
Okay.
seen the look on everybody's faces.
Okay, well then I will be quiet.
Thank you, Corey. No worries. That is not a problem.
The other thing that I'll mention is that we're in the process of wrapping up our state fiscal year with the Department of Commerce. So that means that next month, likely, we will again be working on what's called a housing inventory chart. We'll need to put together the information about your programs to make sure that we have the correct number of beds and units in HMIS, and all of the information about how your programs are funded. So there's this big report we do every year, and that'll be happening during the month of August, most likely.
Jason, you have a question?
Just other county business. So we also are having our update to our area plan. So there's actually a forum coming up. It'll be July 25th from 1 o'clock to 2:30 at the Silverdale Library in Salish room. So basically, for those of you that don't know, so Aging and Long-Term Care does a big area plan. It's on our website that basically talks about everything that we do, where the funding's coming from. And then we often invite public comments on that. So if you have any interest in that, definitely stop by and talk to Tanya, who's with our contracts team, and give her some ideas. There's also an upcoming event for veterans. It's a veteran retiree appreciation seminar. So it'll actually be Thursday, August 3rd. So it'll be at Banner at the main plaza from 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock. So we'll be there, and a number of other organizations will be. And then we just have our main information assistance program here. So if anyone needs any information, just senior resources, adults with disabilities, just call our main number and I'll enter that in there to chat as well. Oh, and then Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program is still going on. So if you need seniors that are within certain income guidelines that are interested, again, a free $80 card for seniors for use of any farmers market around Kitsap County. So if you have interest, we have applications on our website and Ms. Mills Kitsap's website as well. So.
Give a link. What's your website? I know it's an easy one, right?
agingkitsap.com.
agingkitsap.com. Thank you.
I'll link that in our contact info.
Any more updates from the county?
Carl, does this group know about the results from the hearing examiner?
Oh, maybe not. We did get positive results from the hearing examiner. We're almost to the end of our 5-day period for feedback. And then right now we're scheduled for construction on the Mile Hill shelter starting, fingers crossed, late September, early October.
That's exciting. I know everybody's waiting to hear how that's going and yeah, the timeline on that. So it's nice to hear it's moving forward. Maria, you have a question?
So it's not a question, it's more of a comment. So I'm not sure if everyone in the Kitsap Housing and Homelessness Coalition knows that the equity program of KPHD back in November launched the Kitsap Health Equity Collaborative. And we have about 60 partners from community partners, government agencies, private organizations that come to our meetings every other month. And one of the priorities that they was the barriers to housing. And so we've had that discussion probably at 3 of our meetings, and we just had a panel at our meeting yesterday. And we had people from the county talking about the comprehension plan, as well as City of Bremerton and Tony Ives from KCR. And we're hoping to continue those discussions. Not sure when, maybe within the next year, but it's one of the priorities of the collaborative. And so I just want to let people know that that's something that is happening here in Kitsap County.
Maria, is that virtual or is that in person?
It is hybrid and it is by invitation.
Okay.
So it is a close collaborative. It's not a you can't come collaborative. So if you have a reason why you think that you or no, it's important for them to be at the table, we are more than open to talking to the individuals, letting them know what the collaborative is, the expectation is, so that if it's something that fits their needs and fits the needs of the collaborative. We've invited, just yesterday we had 3 people proposed to be invited, and they attended, and they've made recommendations for other people they know that need to be at the table based on the work that we're doing. So we got about 60 to 80 members. On average, we have between 30 and 40 that attend in person or via Zoom. And we're having very deep conversations about topics that impact our health and our safety here in Kitsap County.
But it sounds amazing and I appreciate it. And want to make Regional Housing Authority as part of that. I think they are, but there's really
Yes, they
good
are.
information there. Yes, thank you, Maria. I think it's going to be a short meeting because we only had one presentation today, but I think that's okay because it is summertime. But I appreciate everyone attending today. So the last part of our meeting is always, if you want to chat, say your agency, and if you have an update, I will call on you so you can make your update. So while everybody's doing that, so just you can chat your agency and your update, then I will call on you. And while you're doing that, I will let you know what's kind of upcoming for the coalition in the coming months. So let me bring up the agenda. Okay, so this is the agenda, and I wanted to share that in August we will be reviewing. Oh, I forgot my Zoom does weird things. I hope to be back. Sorry, everyone. Can anybody see my screen right now?
I'm looking at your agenda, I think.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's frozen and I'm concerned about. Okay. So can you see my cursor moving?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay. It said it quit and then it brought me back. So here I am. Okay. So in August, we will be reviewing a couple documents as a group. So really, we usually have presenters, but at the August meeting, we want to try something different where we're using our network of resources to talk about how we can maybe update these two documents that are out there and they haven't been updated for a few years. So the first one is, and Krisha, can you see this too?
If you've clicked the link, it hasn't picked up yet. I'm still looking at the agenda and I'm looking at your cursor. Oh, and now we just went back to the group setting.
Yep, thank you. I just want to make sure. Thank you. Okay, so can you see the document?
Still loading on my end.
One more time. Hello, everyone. I have the Zoom experience here. Okay. Can you see the document?
Yes,
Yay.
I see your KHHC.
You would laugh to hear that it closed the entire Zoom on me and brought me back. So, okay, I'm gonna zoom in. So this document, it says how you can help people living homeless, and it's just some tips and tricks for those who want to help. We're going to be looking at this document and hopefully using our knowledge of what our community looks like right now to update this and improve it. So the other document is a resource guide for pet owners. Okay, I have to confirm. Can you see this document pulling up?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This is another document that hasn't been updated since 2019. So we're going to hopefully look at these. And if you have any other documents that you might use that, could be helpful for community partners to have as we speak the same language, as we try to help people and make sure their pathway is successful. So as instead of just, oh, I think they go there and they're like, oh no, they do this. And any documents that you might provide, this is a great way to bring them to the table and we can talk about what resources are already out there because we don't want to duplicate, but we also want to make it easy. So. And then I did stop sharing, so thank you again, everyone. I did want to also share that Project Connect is in January every year. And as you know, that's one of the main coalition initiatives to, we put together a committee of members, a subcommittee, I guess you can say, that works with the county to help coordinate Project Connect as a resource fairs throughout the county during the point in time count. We want to talk about it earlier than later, and a great idea was presented to the executive group to have this meeting as a kickoff, maybe in person, and Eric offered the Salvation Army in September. So that's kind of what we're working towards, is actually in-person meeting to kind of talk about Project Connect and get it kicked off right. So we're talking early, seeing if there's any new resources who want to be involved. It was really successful last year. Thank you to all the volunteers who really put all the time into that. But we want to just talk about it early and often so that it's not as difficult or time consuming. So hopefully getting together would be a great opportunity to connect. So we're thinking about that for the September meeting on September 20th, which is the third Wednesday of September. Anyway, more to come on that. I just wanted to let everybody know. And I want to say first, I'll call on Judy.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you to all of the group members that attended the Pacific Building United Way Day of Caring. I wasn't here because I was on leave, but I know that there were a good number of participants from the group, and I just wanted to say thank you very much to all of you.
Okay, and now I'm going to ask somebody whose Zoom didn't close on them to help me guide the chat, the Zoom updates. I might ask Carisha again, since Carisha and I work together. So Carisha, do you have a sense of who started the updates? Because when it closed on me, it completely deleted my chat. So
So let's see here. I think it started with Nicole.
Nicole, you have an update?
Yeah, I just wanted to take a minute to do a final plug for our upcoming event on Monday. Previously, I think last month when we met, I talked about our upcoming community summits. We've changed that to Community Resource Fair, which is a much better representation of what the event actually is. So this coming Monday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. up at the Village Green Community Center in Kingston, we'll be having our resource fair. We've got about 16 to 17 different community-based agencies that'll be sharing their resources. And we're also providing a little bit of time to discuss current behavioral health needs. So I'm gonna try to attach a flyer to the chat, but I'll also leave my email address if anybody wants more info. Even though it's a little last minute, if you are interested in having a table, by all means, connect with me and we can make that arrangement. But that's it.
Thank you.
Do you see the next one, or you want the next person?
Oh no, it deleted it. SMU or anybody else here who I trust you all, whoever needs to make updates. Yeah, we can call on.
Before I give you the next person, I did see Judy Ray had their hair up. It got put back down, but Judy, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to express any comments or thoughts.
Oh, she did. She shared
okay.
about thinking about the Day of Caring. So
okay, perfect. I just saw the hands. I wanted to be sure. Okay, next up was DSHS with Chris.
Awesome. Hi guys. Yes, we have a couple updates we wanted to put out there. First up, our phone interview hours are changing. Those are going to change from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that's current right now. So right now, if you call to apply for benefits, report changes, or complete a review, you have to be between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. to make that call. And the other one was the in-office. Here at the Bremerton CSO, or the Bremerton office, if you come in to apply for benefits, report a change, or complete a review, it's between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. So if you check in after 2 o'clock, you have to come back the following day to do that. And then we had a couple other closures. It looks like August 14th and 15th, all CSOs, so all offices with DSHS will be closed. So we won't be open those 2 days, so the 14th and the 15th of August. And then PEBT benefits are returning. So for parents, be on the lookout for that. That looks like it's to be issued towards July. So sometime in July, I'm assuming at the end of July. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Any other questions for Chris?
Questions?
Krisha, I'm going to lean on to you until it gets to Sarah.
Oh, yeah, chat.
Okay, yeah, let's see who we got here. So the next after Chris, we've got Martita, KPHD-NFP updates, Kids at Public Health, and apologies if I mispronounced her name.
That's okay. Thank you. You did a great job. Martina, H is silence. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I posted in the chat our website for the Kids at Public Health District and Nursing Family Partnership. And the Nurse Family Partnership is for pregnant people, be first-time mamas. I'll be happy to assign a personal nurse. There's a lot of information there on the website. You can go there. We provide amazing support to the first-time parents-to-be. And also, we do have a postpartum group that we go around the beautiful Kitsap County parks. Our next walk will be on July 28th, which is a Friday at 11 a.m. Also, you can look at all the dates on the Instagram page. Mama Moves Kitsap. And normally a nurse will come with us to the walks. Sometimes a nutritionist from WIC will join us in the walk. If mamas have any questions, they can ask. But mamas can bring their kiddos, the baby, and with the strollers and just walk around our beautiful parks and make some connection with other mamas. Also, dads are very welcome to come. So join us, and you can look at us on Instagram, Mama Moves Kids Up. Thank you.
Thank you, Martita.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds like an amazing upcoming event. Next up, we got a reminder from Roland. If you want to just announce that, Roland.
Sure. I've just got some metal folding chairs available to any nonprofit group that's got a use for them. Just let me know. I can even deliver.
Thank you, Roland. If you want to add your contact information, if you hadn't already, that's good. We also put that on the newsletter last time too. So if you access the website, you can go to our newsletter archive. You can see those links as well. If you've missed anything, also, please everyone get on our mailing list if you want any of these updates at a timely manner. So thank you so much. And what's up next?
Next up, we have Sarah from KPHD want to provide us with a brief follow-up. Sarah, you've got the floor.
Thank you. I'm going to actually tag team off of what Maria has in the chat as well. So this is just messaging from our Public Health Emergency Preparedness and Response Program. We like our acronyms, those pepper. Last meeting, we were talking about how there was a shortage potentially of cooling centers. I reached out to our Pepper program to see if they were aware of where that was. So the way that our cooling centers work is that they're through the Kitsap County Department of Emergency Management, which is separate from us. They didn't have any new information, but the recommendations that I got from our program was that it might be useful for this coalition to directly reach out to KCDEM to say their concerns, to say like, hey, we're going to potentially have a shortage. These are some potential spots that we identified that could be cooling centers, because I think it's also something that they're going to be looking at. So if anyone on this coalition identifies locations that could be potential cooling centers, they would be the people to reach out to. So Maria put in the chat a link to wildfire smoke recommendations for the public. The other this time of year recommendations from public health is what to do when it's hot out. And I'm going to just read verbatim what I got sent: to seek relief at facilities that have air conditioning, shade, or water, such as senior centers, shopping malls, and parks. So if possible, I know that for people that are unhoused, they can't just stay at home, but to try to find somewhere that they can stay where it is cooler, to avoid kind of the health impacts of heat.
Thank you, Sarah. Maria?
And just to add to Sarah shared, I did put the link to a flyer by KPHD on wildfire smoke. It is that time of year, and I just want to make sure that all the organizations represented today at this meeting know that if you are serving the unhoused and there is smoke out, you can come to KPHD and get N95 masks. You can get full boxes of them if you're serving our unhoused neighbors or for yourself. I mean, the district is providing N95 masks, and it's the only mask that will protect you from when you're outside and it's smoky, and unhoused sometimes can't get away from being outside. So just wanted to make sure everyone knows that we do have those resources available at KPHD.
That's great information. And if any, I know you posted the link, and so again, it's hopefully going to be available on the recording as well. If you need to refer back. I did catch up, Carisha, so now I have the chat since I disconnected me for a second. It looks like Eric Harold from the Salvation Army. He says their website has low income guide and the free meals guide that the coalition provides. So again, that's a great way to get the information out and to speak the same language, I guess, because of the low income guide that we provide on our website. We encourage all providers to put that in their lobbies and on their websites, share it on Facebook or Instagram. Again, it's a great way to also get word out about the coalition to service providers that might not know about us. So I appreciate that. And Maria, you put the flyer I see about the wildfire smoke, and then Nicole, you put the flyer for Monday's community resource fair that you spoke about in Kingston. This is all in the chat, everyone. And then Roland, and then let's see here, the more information about the emergency management's website for Kitsap County on the severe weather shelters and the cooling centers. So, and does anybody else have any final updates before we close out for today?
Well, I did have one comment.
Okay.
So I get to table events quite a bit, and I'm kind of new to the community. I'm a transplant from California. And I've been working with Martita May, who's just amazing. She's so beautiful. But I just want to, actually, I'll turn on my camera because I bumped into someone at a community event and they confused me and Martita. They couldn't tell us apart. So I just want everyone to see me next to Martita so you guys could kind of differentiate what we look like since we'll see each other out in community.
And that's a good reminder how great this group is, how we are virtual, but when we share our cameras, we can really meet each other, because I really enjoy seeing everybody in person out there with more community fairs going on and opportunities for tabling. I do really appreciate everybody in this group. And it looks like a final update from Jason from the Kitsap Aging and Long-Term Care. He posted a link on the info on the area plan that will be at the Silverdale Library on July 25th. All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for what you do. And again, I hope you join us in August for our discussions around our resources. Have a great afternoon.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Nicole.